Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Airmech? What is Airmech? Well, I've actually done a video on this. I did a very early alpha back in, oh, God knows when, I can't even remember, but it was part of the WTF-a-thon live stream. And it was quite the thing. It was an interesting looking proof of concept, I suppose. Now the game is in open beta, so things have changed significantly. So it is time, I think, to have an updated look at Airmech. What's it all about? Well, you could, I suppose, describe it as a MOBA game or a Dota game if you like, but I don't think that would really be accurate. I would describe it as a true action RTS. This is a term that I know quite a few of the Dota fans are trying to coin as an alternative to MOBA, because they don't like that, but ARTS, of course, does not work for certain titles like Smite, and, of course, games like, I suppose, Bloodline Champions to some degree, but Super Monday Night Combat is particularly bad for that. In this case, though, this actually genuinely is an action RTS because you are building units and you are able to give them orders and move them around, but you are also on the battlefield as an air mech, which is a flying mech. You can change between plane or helicopter or flying saucer or whatever the hell form into a ground mech form. Just like this, you know, you see this Warthog variant, Gothic Warthog variant. That's going to change between that awesome dude and this slightly gimpy, but nonetheless kind of awesome dude. Alright, so what is the business model this time around? Well, it's going to be a free-to-play game, and I shall show you what it's all about. Let's go have a look at the store, shall we? Once again, with free-to-play games, I find it's very important to have a look at the business model. So if this does not interest you and you are just looking for gameplay, then there is a button on the screen right now that you are able to click. This will take you directly to the gameplay. Sticking around? Good. That's what I like to hear. Okay, let's have a look. So, it is the standard bundles, boosts, and nonsense like that. You can buy diamonds. Diamonds are the currency. You don't necessarily need to get them, but if you happen to buy them, then you can get a bonus, so you do save money in the long run. You can still buy stuff, which is quite nice, I might add, by just picking it up for a certain amount of money. If I look at the starter pack, for instance, $9.99 for that one. If I were to go to my army and look for stuff to unlock, maybe if I wanted to unlock some of these, for instance, this Black Ops bomber, I can buy it with diamonds or I can buy it with currency. And this is, of course, a cosmetic skin that has no actual effect on the game. Let's go back and have a look at a few other things. You can see various bundles and things that have been added in here. This is actually part of a beta bundle that you can purchase. I think it's about $30 and you get a lot of stuff. I believe I have that bundle right now. Can have a look at boosts. Kudos boosts and XP boosts. Kudos allows you to unlock stuff. XP is required to raise your overall Airmech level, which will actually push you up in the matchmaking, by the way, so you might want to watch out for that. Kind of like League of Legends, experience boosts are of limited value, simply because you end up getting too much XP and you end up being too high level and not being able to afford everything. When it comes to the kudos, that is used to unlock different Airmechs, which also can sometimes have a level requirement, I believe, and also to unlock different units. Now, if you go to My Army here, these are the current units available. There's a quite a significant number of them. I don't really have anything unlocked other than the ultimates. Now, these cannot actually be used online. I believe you can use these offline, and for what I understand from reading the patch notes, it's actually possible to gain experience and levels offline. So if you don't want to go straight into PvP, you have the ability to level up regardless and actually gain something, but you only gain it for the first 90 minutes of gameplay every day, so it's to stop botting or to limit you from just grinding up completely offline, I suppose. You do have to go online one way or the other eventually. But you'll notice here a wide variety of different units available, and you can also get items which can be dropped by your Airmech. These are bombs. That is a booster to increase the speed. Stasis mine. Bear trap. This thing, yeah, don't even ask. That's a Penny Arcade exclusive crazy nonsense. And then you can get radar sights, extra guardians, which will float around your ship, and things like that. Now, what you can also do is unlock cosmetics, and this appears to be where the majority of the nonsense lies with the microtransactions. Here, it's $2.50 to get yourself green tracer bullets. You can, of course, get things like contrails, also at the same kind of price. And you can get mini pets, like $2.50 gets you that. That is a Husky pup. Yes, there is a reason for that. Husky is actually in the game. He played this quite early on, and that's his pilot right there. I can't unlock him yet, but Husky is available, as is Chimney Swift, who you may also be aware of. That's actually a referral bonus, so needless to say, my referral link is below that, because I'd quite like to be in the game, because hey, why not? But yeah, your pilots actually affect things, which is kind of neat, and these are unlocked with experience and kudos only, so we go back to the thing. Can you buy power? No. These unlocks here, they unlock with currency. They are the ultimate units, and they cannot be used in PvP games, so that really doesn't matter all that much. It doesn't seem like you can buy power as far as I can tell. But once again, there are certain limits on experience and things like that. You start with a very basic unit set, which looks something like that. This is what you have. You can unlock a set of basic pilots from the start, and actually, they have some really good stats. If you look at all of this stuff, the actual statistics of, like, the Penny Arcade guys, they're often duplicates of existing ones. I have some weird stuff, like the Jesus pilot. Yes, indeed. Why not? They're all pretty well balanced from what I can tell. And then, of course, you've got your different Airmechs that you can unlock and different skins for your mechs. The Striker is your basic one. It's pretty good, far as I can tell, and you can actually do direct comparisons with statistics here as well, which I very much like. And as you can probably see, there are some reasonably balanced things going on. They all have different ultimate abilities, so they are designed in different ways. This guy actually is a air superiority fighter. You can get a rocket launcher on him as his ultimate ability, heat-seeking rockets, which are very effective. The bomber, well, it bombs and it also attacks with melee in its mech form, which is kind of neat. The chopper is very good for moving around units, and it's quite tough, plus it's got rockets. And the Warthog, which is probably one of my favorites, is a unit that has this massive rotary cannon that eventually gains the ability to hit both air and ground, which is kind of great. You can also equip an item. This is a very small stats boost. These are easily acquired, as you can see. They can be unlocked with cash or kudos. Kudos is acquired by playing the game. They are very, very small upgrades. I'm currently using this one here, as you can see. Not really a huge difference. Now, you also gain access to these items on trial as well, so they rotate these around and you'll gain access to stuff that you wouldn't otherwise have. So seems to be on a business model level. It's fairly fair, I think. Skin options are not too ridiculous. How much is this? I mean, $3.50. It's certainly cheaper than a skin in League of Legends, although obviously there's less effort put into it, but again, a skin is a skin, really. This is pretty crazy, but as you can see, that's actually got a custom animation on the side of it. That is a shark, which I think I'm going to have to get, because that looks pretty awesome. I don't really know why this one costs $9. That's a little bit out of the ordinary, but hey. This guy also $9. Pretty expensive, honestly, for some of these skins. They may have to change the pricing around to some degree. Alright. Well, let's go into a game, shall we? Firstly, what you do is you set up your army, as it were, and you can pick 8, I think it's 7 different units. No, it's 8 different units, never mind, my counting is terrible. And you can also change your colors around. I'm really not actually sure why that's level 2, but you know, let's just grab it anyway. Okay, I'm using level 2 green, which I don't even know why that's there. So you can pick between a wide variety of different things, including creepers. Creepers are just reskinned boomers, by the way. It's Notch's little contribution to the game there. There are Penny Arcade units and things like that. You can change between infantry units, tanks, artillery pieces, turrets, as well as upgrades and disposable weapons for your Airmech. So you can customize your Airmech in such a way that you'll be focused primarily on doing damage with it, rather than just building units. But generally speaking, you want a nice mix. I'm finding that this mix works pretty well. It's quite durable. I have quite a heavy tank right there. This guy is an absolute monster. He is really, really good at breaking heavy tank lines. I have a repair unit right there. I have my little creeper that I can drop down and explodes. It's really quite effective. Some infantry units that can also capture buildings, and that can supplement the existing creep spawns, which this game does have in abundance. A Bertha artillery piece. I can only actually use this at level 7, but it's pretty hefty. Very nice flat cannon right there. And a Blaster Guardian, which is a little drone that hovers around my Airmech and does damage. I'm gonna pick the Warthog, I think, because, again, I'm a big fan of this one. I like it very, very much indeed. And we're going to go with this pilot. She's a clone of her, so they both do the same thing. And it's a lot of attack power, but not a lot of durability. Alright, let's go for it. So, this game does now have matchmaking. It didn't used to. It does now. The matchmaking is fairly basic. It's 2-on-2 PvP format. So, let's go into the game and see what we can find. Yeah, we'll go with that. Found ourselves a pilot to go with pretty much instantly, just waiting for them to accept, and then they will find, hopefully, 2 other opponents to play against. We might check out and see if there's any other game modes available after this. They're currently in open beta, so they're doing a lot of testing. This matchmaking system only just came live, and it has a few issues. We'll find out pretty soon, I would imagine. Pretty much all of the games that I have played so far have had some lag problems. It seems like the netcode is not particularly tolerant of laggy players at all, and since the game does have a limited number of people in the matchmaking system, you can end up getting match made with people that are in Europe or America, depending on which side you happen to be, with fairly high pings, which does cause quite a few problems. We're now waiting for opponents here. Everything's locked in, and we're pretty much ready to go. He's got the basic loadout, which is actually quite well balanced, honestly. It's a really, really nice loadout. It's got almost everything you could possibly need. This turret is kind of a beast. I like this big flat cannon a little bit better, but this one actually is a better all-round turret. You've got this basic fixer unit, and bear in mind that every unit in the game actually costs different amounts of money, so you can buy a bunch of super powerful units, but a lot of them are either level restricted, so you've got to get to level 5 within the game. That's not the same as your player level, by the way. Your in-game level is just like League of Legends, Dota, or whatever, attached to that specific game. So you start level 1, you can go through, I think, all the way to about level 9 or 10 or whatever, and then it resets during your next game. So just waiting for opponents, and hopefully we will actually get one. So you can see I've got my nice little cosmetic, whatever the hell that is, that flies around. I think it's called Murchie the Merchandise, if I recall correctly. Now, he is, as you can see, based around fast healing, good fuel efficiency as well. You can eventually burn out of fuel, which will slow you down significantly and cause you all sorts of problems. So don't do that. Go back to an outpost and refuel and heal before you're able to do that. He has a slight disadvantage in the form of his unit build speed. That's not really a big deal. The longest build time on any of the units, I believe, is 12 seconds, so 5% off that, well, I'm sure you can do the mathematics. It's not really all that important. Alright, well, we are certainly having some issues with the matchmaking system, so I will come back to you when we've actually found a game. Alright, folks, there we are. We got into the game, and there we go. Everything seems to have stabilized quite nicely. Now, I'm with a competitive player who apparently did really, really well in the ranked season, which disturbs me greatly. I'm a little concerned. I'm just going to let him do whatever he wants to this base and not screw around, and I will start with deploying some heavy tanks and some repairs. There we go. We'll start with you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link things together here. I'd probably best explain what the hell's going on, because you guys are horribly confused already. Okay, so this is your Airmech. You can turn it into one of these, or one of these, which can only fire on aircraft and can zoom around the place quite nicely and quickly. Now, what you can do at that point is attack units that are coming in your general direction. Something like that. What you can also do is build units. So if you press Q, you bring up the build screen. Let's just... oh, can't quite get him by the looks of it. Press Q, you bring up the build menu, and you can use the number pad to quickly build certain units. So if I want to build a bunch of sandbots, I can do that. Now what you then have to do is actually pick them up and move them, and you can drop them pretty much anywhere on the map. So if I wanted to grab my Gemini tank and cause problems with it, I can do that. It's going to slow my Airmech down a little bit in order to make that work, but I can nonetheless do it, and I need to watch out for NPC everything, because otherwise that happens. I had no idea there were that many NPCs in this map. Apparently there are. So you build your own units, and then you pick them up and drop them, and you can give them orders while they're in the air using a bunch of hotkeys. So pick up this unit right here. Infantry doesn't take orders. They just move around automatically and deliberately try and capture buildings if they can, but if you pick up, say, a tank, you're going to notice something in the corner here. You can set it to capture building, which it can't do. Patrol path, link to unit, attack, and hold position. So if I set that to attack, then pick up that, and then tell that to link to it, then we suddenly have a tank that has a fairly hefty and hopefully effective repair force. Now, someone just tried to drop some stuff behind the base. The overall goal, of course, being to blow up the base. I'm going to level up and grab myself Guardian. Kind of like that. There we go. Now, I've got a bunch of money, so I should really start spending it. I'm going to buy a bunch of Geminis. I'm going to pick up this Guardian here. Now, we need to capture this area in the center. Whoa, okay, yeah, unpleasant things are happening. My Gemini tank is now moving in to push on that position, so I'm going to bring reinforcements. Head over here. Okay, that's a Guardian. We don't actually need that. Can I have a tank, please? There we go. Excellent. So I'm going to move the tank in nice and close, and I'm going to order it to attack. We've got the repair units just behind, which should be helpful, although they move slightly slower, which is... What I should have done, actually, is link the tanks to the repair units and not the other way around, because then the tanks would have moved at the speed of the repair units. Just buy a bunch more. There we go. Seem to be doing okay at the moment, pushing on that center location. Every time you gain an outpost, you will gain the ability to build units there, spawn at it, and they have all of these linked pads, which you can actually build on, which are really quite... Oh god, oh god, oh god. That was Q. That's not what I wanted to do. Back you go. Thankfully, sitting on here makes it just a little bit difficult for them to do any real damage to me. Oh god. That, on the other hand... Now, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Yep, I am. I should not have gone mech form over there. That was very, very silly indeed. We're respawning momentarily. Our base is already taking a little bit of damage. It looks like we are shielded, though, so that's not something we have to worry too much about. Respawn times get gradually longer throughout the game, which is something that you would expect. Alright, I see units on the minimap here. Maybe... I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about? Oh, never mind. That's the other side. Okay. I was gonna say, what? Is he talking to me? Apparently, he is not talking to me. I think what we also need is a couple more turrets out here. I'm gonna grab that. Oh, we are taking damage to the main base. I'm not liking that. I'm gonna go defend it. It's alright. Our friend here is here to deal with those problems. I might actually deploy a couple of turrets around here as well. They're not quite as effective if they're not linked to the base like that, but they seem to work pretty well regardless. Nothing better than a little bit of aerial denial as well. I'm gonna go to the center here. Sadly, the game is lacking music. I would definitely like to hear a little bit of that. There we go. Uh-oh. Well, that's not so pleasant. Let's see if we can take the tank down on the ground. Should be able to do that. Take a lot of damage in the process, though. Now, sadly, this flat cannon doesn't work so well against units on the ground, or indeed at all, but regardless, it's fairly good at aerial denial. Alright. Let's set up a few of these. There we go. Now, there is a unit limit, and your income is affected, I believe, by the amount of units that you have on the field, as well as a number of other things. If you own certain buildings, then you will end up getting certain benefits. Okay, there's a tank. Okay, I've leveled up once again as well. I'm gonna just decrease my charge time on this cannon, because that's probably one of the worst things about it. Okay, I'm gonna drop this, grab this, and I'm gonna link this to that. And now I'm going to tell this to go and attack, which will hopefully mean the tank will actually stick with it. That was the theory at any rate. Now, these particular repair bots are quite effective. There you go. You link up to there. Excellent. Now, what I can do as well is just build a bunch of creepers, which are fairly effective at blowing things up. That's exactly what I'm going to go do. Let's find some units. Oh, God! Oh, that was unpleasant. Wow. I'm just gonna send these guys on the ground for the moment, I think. I'm gonna have to come up with something a little bit heftier to break those lines. Thinking if we use some Gemini tanks and some repairs, might be able to do that. At the moment, the Gemini tanks are continuing to push their way in this direction. Unfortunately, we are running into some resistance. I think I probably need a couple more ratchets to back them up. Let's get a Guardian in the process as well. There we go. I'm actually surprised not to see too many lag problems in this game. I have had some significant freezing, which is probably one of the biggest problems that I've had with the game thus far. Uh-oh, incoming creepers. Let's try and get rid of them before they blow up anything. They can do significant damage. It is an interesting game, I've got to say. It's a very, very fast-paced action RTS, and I am actually appreciating it a great deal. Our Goliath's still alive. They'll be even more alive if I'm able to provide them with some repairs. Just trying to at least give them some fire, and we're actually pushing quite well on the base at the moment and doing significant damage. Uh-oh, I'm out of fuel. I'm out of the ability to shoot, so I better head back to the base. In the meantime as well, I'm gonna send some more repair drones in from here. I think it's time to bring out the creepers. Once I get to the right level, I can start to deploy artillery and use those, but... Alright. You're dead, son. You are horribly dead. Very nice, very nice. Well, I think this is going to be a GG very, very quickly here. I might end up going into another game just to demonstrate a couple of different unit layouts and things like that. GG, that was nice and easy. I think it's mostly because I was teamed up with a guy who was very highly ranked. He knows his stuff. There you go. I mean, that's the basics of Airmech right there. An interesting level design on that one. That's actually one of the maps that were picked randomly. So I think what I'll probably do is try to queue up and do it again. You see all of my stats here as well. Lots of referral bonuses. This is what I'm looking to do, by the way, if you hadn't already guessed. Design an item, design a custom Airmech, and design a custom skin. 1,000 players is what I need to refer. That's totally doable, right? Yeah, I can do that. You do actually have to play it as well, by the way. Just want to point that out. Alright, let's try and do one more. I'm gonna change my Airmech around, I think. I very much like the Shark guy. That's pretty fantastic. Very fast, light Airmech with a cloaking ability. Let's go with that. I shall unlock the Shark. Excellent. There we go, there's the Shark. Now, since this is a bit of a lighter mech, I don't think I really want to go with someone that has minus damage resistance, so I may want to change things around. Who's this fellow? Okay, we're not going to use him. Plus 20% XP bonus. Yeah, he gains a lot of experience, he doesn't earn as many credits. Alright, well, we'll go with that. Okay, I'm going to have him for the moment. Let's have a look at this. Let's just try and find a different item that might work out well here. I'd like something that gives me a little bit more armor, maybe. Unit cap, missile shoot down chance, radar vision, auto repair rate. I don't think there's actually anything that does. This gives me 1% extra, so... yeah, let's stick with that then for the moment. I'm gonna throw around my cosmetics as well. I'm gonna get the Husky Pup. There we go. Because why not? And I think I might change my cosmetics around just a little bit. Let's have... missile party streamers. I don't think I actually have missiles on this mech, so that would be a little pointless. Maybe some magenta contrails, because why not? Styling. Wow, I have both equipped. It would be kind of crazy if you were able to make that work. I'm curious. I'm going to leave them both equipped and see if you actually get both, because that will be amazing. Alright. So, let's recustomize this unit composition just a little bit. I'm going to toss that out of there. And I think what I'll probably do... what have we got? Gatling gun with high rate of fire. Deals with infantry quite nicely. Let's go with that, because infantry are always a problem. They're capturing buildings, and that's not a mechanic that I really had a chance to explain to you. So, I'm going to switch this guy around and get the Goliath heavy tank, I think. What else could I get? I'll maybe get some bombs. That would be quite nice. The ability to drop bombs on people would be amusing. We'll get rid of the Guardian and we'll replace it with something else. I need kind of a decent line unit. Let's see if there was any tanks or heavier mechs we could go with. Could still go with the Gemini, I guess. Armadillo. Little cost-effective tanks. Well, if I've got the Goliath, I've got heavy units anyway, so let's get the Armadillo there, and I'm gonna get some repair infantry. Okay, that's a Interesting little composition. I don't really have a heavy puncher till level 7, but I'm relying on my mech itself to actually do a lot of that damage, and I've got bombs in order to make that happen, so... I do still also have creepers, so that should help. Alright, let's try once more, shall we? Let's do one more game of it. Now, before we do that, I'd like to just demonstrate the other setups that are available. You can see there's 3-on-3, 1-on-1, and 2v2. Also have spectator slots, so there is the possibility that this might end up getting a little bit esporty. If I want to create a custom game, I can show you what's going on here. You see co-op, capture the flag, solo. As you can see, you can play against AI bots for practice, but you could still actually get rewards for that. And you can do that, I think you can actually do that offline, which is pretty cool. Survival and challenge modes. So a bunch of challenge modes with different objectives. There's limits there, and there are the maps that you can pick random or pretty much any one of those. Let's jump back into matchmaking with this setup and see how it ends up working out. Should have a fairly strong infantry force here, I think. I've got repair infantry and SAM infantry. Let's see if we're able to get a game in the matchmaking. And I shall bring you into the game as soon as we actually do it, rather than have you sit around for 5 minutes looking at this. Which is not all that fun, is it? No, not at all. Alright, we are in. Unfortunately, it looks like his teammate isn't, so he might be stuck with AI, which makes me kind of sad for him. Apparently he's there, but I don't see him on the list. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, so let's get the setup, shall we? What are we going to start with? I think... I'm going to buy some turrets at 50% off, because you can do that in the starting phases of the game. Get some tanks ready to rock and roll. I believe we already actually... Is that fixer infantry? It looks like it. So I'm going to get a couple of Gatling guns around here, so we don't have to worry too much about being attacked early on in the game. Alright, tanks are on the way, and pathfinding is breaking just a little bit. That is definitely something that they do need to resolve. Let's get some repair infantry on the field. Okay. I'm going to keep them with the main force, because, well, quite frankly, they're going to need them. There you go. I believe we have an outpost over to the side here as well. I'm really quite adoring my shark thingy right there. Wow, we're actually able to just dash in there with the repair infantry. They're able to tank enough damage, which is really quite impressive. Now, infantry by default will try and capture buildings. What does that actually mean? Well, if we go in the center here, you'll notice there's a green light on there. Once you've filled up all lights with the color of your team, then you capture the building. When infantry make their way into the building, they will usually get one extra light on the building itself. Ow, 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 ow. Let's move out of there. This thing is not so durable, certainly. I'm gonna grab a bunch of bombs, I think, and actually start bombing that center position. Okay, you can try and fight these on your own at level 1, but you tend to have a few problems, and of course dying is suboptimal. I have the little husky pet with the jetpack behind me. That is adorable. Look at it. Look at this little face. Alright, I'm gonna bring some bombs in. What the? That was not quite what I had in mind. I haven't actually fired bombs before, so I'm not entirely sure how to use them. I thought, oh, you just drop them with space, right? No, apparently not. No, you do not. Now, you can start things building while you're respawning, which is really quite nice. I'm definitely a fan of that. I had to add some creepers to the list. Alright, there's a level up. Now, what can I upgrade this time? Extra armor, energy shield for the Airmech, and cloaking device for the Airmech. Let's go with energy shield for the moment. Now, what do I want to do? I want to try and break this position here, so I'm going to start by deploying some light tanks. So what I might also do is just drop a creeper right in there, because they have a tendency of doing reasonable damage. Ah! I think we actually have that area, but it's still surrounded by NPCs, which is one of the weird things about the capture mechanics in this game, because only infantry can do it. NPC vehicles can still kind of hang around the place and say, "Oi, this is ours." It's like, well, no, I can just sit right there. There you go, have some creepers in the middle of your army. Which tends to do some fairly amazing damage. Alright, now I believe I had that energy shield, didn't I? It converts physical damage into energy damage. I don't actually have any idea how that works, but hey. Drop one of those down here, and actually, you know what, I'll probably just sit here. I can actually take the damage, which is kind of comical. What I could just do is get a couple of units down here, stand over there, out repairing the damage, then maybe just get a Gatling gun turret, which should clear all the rest of them out. Sup, guys? It's fine. Leave me alone, goddammit. What is wrong with you? Are you quite finished? Apparently not. Here you go. You can have that turret. That should hopefully clean those vehicles out very, very, very slowly. I think we'll build a couple of tanks in this position as well. Currently, things are going reasonably well. We don't have the center location, so I'd definitely like to try and get a hold of that if possible. Armadillo tanks should be able to clean out the rest of these units, I think. Wow, it's taking a while for these to kill anything. I really should have got a heavier tank, but once I get to level 7, I'll be able to deploy the Goliath. And my idea with this particular pilot was to try and get the Goliath nice and quickly. Not entirely sure if it's working out so far. There we go, have one of these. Come on, seriously, let's just get rid of the NPCs. Yeah, it's one of those... It's a very weird mechanic, honestly, and it is kind of odd that the NPC vehicles would just stick around and you can just completely out-repair them, which is silly. You just end up sitting there. Alright, what else should we grab? Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of extra armor for this thing as well while I'm on. Can't get my other ability yet. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really want to be anywhere near that. It just doesn't seem like a very good idea, all things considered. Alright, get at... Nice, there we go, taken down. Now, I need to figure out how to do those bombs, because there's a ton of units in a very close proximity that could be very easily destroyed. If I can figure out how to use the bombs, that is. I believe they're currently blockading the route in. Okay, so how do I use bombs? Do I right-click? It is space, okay. I thought it might be somehow. Let's just get a few units going, build a few more bombs, and then we shall cause a little bit of a mess over there. At least that's the plan. I should probably have actually got Cloak instead, and then I could just play a kind of stealth bomber role. Over we go. Sup? Oh yeah, there we go. This is some significant damage. I'm gonna go grab some more bombs, and I'm gonna just keep working my way through that force, I think. This definitely seems like the way to do things. We don't have a lot of cash. That's something we definitely need to alleviate. Ba-da-da-da! It's not quite enough to kill them. Every rocket in the universe as it falls down on there. There's a bunch of repair units in there as well, which has made this a little trickier than it should be. Alright, let's get on the ground and stop these guys from capturing. We can't have that. That would be a terrible thing. He says as he lets one in. Into the center. I don't have quite enough. I think that would require a little bit of teamwork. And teamwork is ridiculous. Once I get the level for this Big Bertha cannon, then everything will be wonderful, but I currently do not have that. Things are not going incredibly well for us thus far. Alright, there we go. That's the cloaking device, so that should make things a little easier. Let's send that repair bot along with them. Give them a little bit more durability. Cloak is not that effective, but I could still keep dropping bombs on them. Don't think our friend here actually has any bombs. Now, in this situation where you're just completely bottlenecked, one of the best approaches is to just go and try and capture them from behind. Oh, God. Well, apparently I cannot cloak in that situation. But I'm thinking maybe we go and try and backcap some of this stuff, so the best way to do that. Start building some SAM units. I think maybe dropping some creepers in the center might do enough damage, but it's hard to say. Unfortunately, I think we've already got some pretty severe problems here that need to be dealt with before anything happens. Get some bots out. There we go. That should clean this area out fairly rapidly, at least. There you go, have some more SAM bots. So let's have a look. This area here is actually still neutral and has significant resources by the looks of it. So I'm thinking if we start lifting some stuff over here and cap that, then we'll be in a great position. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to go do. Sup and bye. There's one. Yeah, so if we capture this area, I'll probably gain some bonuses. Certain facilities on the map do allow you to gain passive bonuses, which are well worth it. Plus, of course, extra cash and different ways to build. This would be an ideal place to put some structures that generated revenue, for instance, but I don't have any in my army composition. That might be something I want to consider in future. Ooh, I need one more bot. Now, you don't have to build your own bots. You could just grab a creep if you so desire. That works just as well, if not better. Still want you dead. Get back here. Whoop. Alright, I have a creep. That should be enough to capture this area over here, and I might go and do that to the other one as well. This should hopefully increase our income, I think. What do we got? Yep, that increased the income. Excellent. Gave me a level as well. Difficult to complain. Increase energy shield. Grab some bombs. Try and start to do damage around the side. There are a lot of units pushing in our direction. I need to get enough levels so I can actually deploy the really heavy stuff. I'll just try and defend this area as best I can. Goodbye to you. Anything worth bombing. This kind of large unit composition there. Get a couple of things out of the way. That's what I like to see. And what else do we have? Well, getting a few more repair bots around this area would be good because our turret's heavily damaged. There we go. That should solve the turret problems for a while. Maybe just move this Seeker over here as well. Repositioning everything on the fly is a fairly vital part of the game. That's why I refer to it actually as an action RTS, because that's exactly what it is. There's a metric ton of crazy things that you've got to actually manage as you're doing it. Now, I do want to go and capture that other facility across the other side of the map. That's exactly what I'm going to go try and do. But I think these guys might need a few hands on the ground first before we do anything else. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Oh! So close. Thankfully, I did not. Could maybe do it. Some more support over here before I go and grab anything else. If I'm able to grab the facility over there. There's very much the possibility of using one of these facilities as a striking point over to the other side, so that's probably exactly what's going to end up happening. There we go. That's what I like to see. Okay. Well, this area is going to hell in a handbasket. Might be able to take him out, maybe. Oh, I see. The energy shield only works on the ground. Okay. That makes sense. That would explain why I couldn't use it. Just want to try and take him out. I don't have the opportunity to do so, and I think we're almost dead, actually. I was looking at the... maybe. The AI is a bit derp in this game, and it looks like that guy is indeed AI, so a bit of a problem. But anyway, I think you get the idea of what this game's all about. So it's a very fast-paced action RTS. It's got some interesting skill elements with it, because of course you do have to dogfight, which is an intriguing idea, certainly. Definitely a fan of that particular innovation. Whoop! There we go. Can't maybe upgrade my creep spawns just a little bit, because I think we do need the extra push, and what I want to try and do is start hijacking some of those areas over there, so start building a ton of sandbots. I'm almost at the level where I can build Goliaths and Berthas, and then we might be able to actually line break against these guys. Let's head over here and try... Oh! This was a bad idea, all things considered. At least utilize the energy shield. Stay alive, come on. I'm not going to stay alive, am I? No, probably not. This is getting rather unpleasant on the lines here. Not liking that one little bit. I can maybe get a few more bots in this area. I might be able to capture that from under them. If they can't kill the units fast enough, then that might happen. There we go. Provide more support. Excellent. This area is now ours. Now, build a couple of Gatling guns here just to defend it. And suddenly, the tables turn, at least in this area. Ah, get back here. Ah, too slow. God damn it, they've got it back already. I just need one more level, and then I can start deploying the really cool stuff. Let's try and drop a few creepers into the... Jeez! So many missiles. Deploy the creepers. Not even sure this is actually doing any damage, but I'll go with it. Might want to get some bombs as well. Try and clean this area out. Now I just need level 7. Just give me level 7. And free kill from that guy. Okay, I have the bombs. Some reasonable damage done. So many missiles coming in my direction. One more set of bombs, if you don't mind. Just need to kill a few more units. I'm very, very close to leveling up. And then we could start to turn the tide, I hope. That's the plan, anyway. Ugh! I should have gone right back to base at that point. If I can get artillery there, then I should be able to push them all the way back. They currently own everything on the map, which means their income is ridiculously high, and ours is not. I think the only facility we actually have is all the way over there. I may be able to use it to assault the area, possibly. Let's head over to this facility, start building a few bots. Maybe go and try and take some stuff back from under them. Hopefully they don't have many defenses. Actually, they don't have any defenses, so we should be able to take this. Well, at least give us a bit of an income advantage. I still need this level up. There we go. Okay, excellent. Right, we are now in business. Assuming I can get the cash to spawn any of the units that I need to get. We'll have this, if you don't mind. Slowly wander your way in there. Wonderful. So I can build a Goliath once I get the cash for it. It requires 16,000 to make it happen, though. Or Bertha artillery piece. All of these are reasonably effective. I go and maybe try and push in this direction. Oh, this is not the place to be at all. Not liking that. First things first, defenses are required. Large number of rather angry-looking creepers might do the job. He's going to try and nick that stuff from over there, isn't he? I can't have that. Cannot have that. There we go. He's down. And we can finish these guys off without too much of a problem, I hope. I just need enough cash to build one of those buildings, and I just don't see a way of getting it. It's probably the fault of my unit composition. I should have got something which actually allowed me to generate additional revenue, and I could have built it on this base, but again, I'm screwing around, so I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. Fairly new to the game. But it's interesting to see that there is that level of strategy behind it. Alright, we're gonna keep ninjaing with creepers from behind and hope that my teammate can actually hold. Because we need income. We need to be able to build those big line breaker units, and if we can't do that, then there's not really an awful lot to be said for it. I have enough for the Goliath. Can I survive 20 seconds to deploy it? Well, that is a very good question. I'm gonna go with not all that likely. Okay, deploy the Goliath. Very, very slowly. Goliath is out. Let's see what it can do. Let's at least get the repair trucks on it. Is it still alive? It actually is. It is breaking the lines right now. Impressive. Don't die to a trike. Come on. That's some bombs on the remainder of that army. Is the Goliath still rolling? It actually is. That's impressive. And I think that was it done. Alright, well, never mind. So much for the super unit. Anyway, the game is dragging on. There's nothing really else to say about it other than it's in open beta and it's quite interesting and it's probably worth a try. If you want to sign up for open beta, the link is in the description below this video. There is the defeat. Looks fairly well balanced. We didn't actually see many lag problems at all there, although the matchmaking is still a little ropey, to say the least. The business model seems fair from what I can tell. And it's a unique enough game to warrant attention. I like the graphics style. It's very fast-paced. The potential for teamwork is certainly there, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. My name is Totalbiscuit, taking a look at Airmech, and I shall see you next time.